Welcome to this week's session. Today, I have a special teaching for the cold full moon. Whether you're listening on the cold full moon or after, this is a great way to tune in and take inventory for 2022 and to really um, call in what you want for 2023. So today, as we get into ourselves, we're going to be letting go of all of those external things, everything on the outside that's no longer serving us, all of the things that have been pulling us away from ourselves, even if they seem like they're good habits or rituals, right? We have to take inventory and get really sincere about whether or not they're serving us and still serving and in alignment with what we want to create. We're going to take a look at all of that. And then tonight, if you are listening to this on the actual full moon, I want you to tonight do the activity at the end that I'm going to help you guide you through to really call in what you want for 2022. Okay. So as we get centered today, I'm going to be working with two different frequencies in the background. So you're going to hear music in the background the whole time I talk, and even in the meditation activation. I'm working with 417 hertz, which is that solar frequency, really allowing ourselves to be the sun. So the moon gets its energy from reflecting the light from the sun. The sun is the source of energy. And so at the end, we're going to be working with 417 hertz. At the beginning, we're going to be working with 936 hertz, which kind of dissolves anything holding us back and all of that negative energy. So as you listen to the sounds that come through today, really allow yourself to just let what goes away, go away, on tight to too much of it. So I'm going to get us started today by taking some big, deep breaths, really breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. And as you breathe, feeling your feet on the ground, your butt or back on the surface beneath you, really being here, present in this current moment, breathing in, breathing out. Every breath you take, sinking deeper and deeper into this moment. I want you to repeat after me. I now call back my power and energy from any and all beings, taking it from me, with or without my consent. Any and all beings in or around my energy field. I command you to leave. You do not belong here. To my healing team, guardians, guides, Mother Earth, powerful universe, I ask you to fill my energy field with only love, light, and high vibrations, releasing all that no longer serves me. So be it. So as we round out 2022, this full moon's helping us clear away all the things that no longer serve us. As we move through life, and I know that since 2019, really, it feels like one year after another has come with its own heavy lessons. And 2023, I feel, is going to be that year of ease and grace. We're all making that phone call to the big sky daddy that says, I can't be your warrior anymore. I don't want to have to be strong through another year again. I want soft, easy, pleasureful. And I really believe that as we can tune in and release the ideas, the ways of being, the people and experiences that are pulling us away from our alignment, we can open up to that new and that fresh. I did an inner child card reading this morning to see what our inner child needed to release. And the three things were very fitting. Number one, it was the need or the belief to people please and to get so deep in all of the ideas, right? It was calling for us to get out into nature, find a stillness within, one of the things we're going to do today, and really empty our minds. The other one was the ways that we self depreciate, the ways that we avoid, the ways that we disassociate. It was this call to be here in the present moment, to nurture and love ourselves. And then the third one, which is what I'm personally choosing to release this year, and I hope that you will join me in it if you feel ready, is the need for resilience. I will tell you what, if one more person tells me how resilient I am, or that I'm strong and I will make it through this, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind. Because I'm done with that life. And I don't believe that we're here on earth to suffer. I don't believe all growth and evolution has to come from suffering. And there's one thing between choosing how to respond and another thing of not having all of the shit to respond to. Right. And so I'm saying no to resilience this year. And that's what the third inner child was calling for, is how can I be open? How can I be vulnerable? How can I be in deep connection and still lead? Right? It doesn't have to be this hustle and bustle. It doesn't have to be getting through. It doesn't have to be trying to survive or putting on your big girl panties. It's about knowing in our safety and in our surrender and in our present moment that we are held, that we don't have to do or achieve or become anything to receive what is meant for us. This is the tricky thing about this full moon in particular, is it's letting us know, here is your package of abundance. Here it is yours. However, you're going to have to wait a moment. And this is where people are really getting stuck. They feel it. They feel something big happening. They know, they have this deep belief. Their checking accounts are negative. Their clients aren't showing up, whatever's happening, and they still have faith. And it's almost a maddening idea, right? Because source is giving us that energy of faith, of hope, of knowing that our next big thing is about to come. And it's saying, breathe with me as we clear out all this shit, so that when you're ready, in divine timing, it will all flood into you. It won't just be, here's a package. It will be, here's all of your packages. Here's all of your blessings. And so right now it's this slow and steady integration of, can I be with the softness? Can I be with the surrender? Can I be in full faith, even when it doesn't look the way I think it should? Can I continue to have my boundaries, to create these statements, to have all of these hard conversations, to save and invest and do these things, even if I'm not seeing the desired outcome right now? Can I still know in my heart that it's mine? Okay. So I say that to give you a little bit of reprieve. And this is the thing about resilience, is resilience requires us to move forward in strength. What I'm asking you to do is move forward in surrender and softness. It's not, oh, my boyfriend broke up with me, my girlfriend broke up with me, my bank account's negative, so how can I fix this? How can I change this? It's okay. I truly believe life is happening for me. So what I'm going to do, and this is what I'm going to teach you guys in just a second, what I'm going to do is return to stillness. I'm going to empty my mind. Okay. I'm going to empty my mind and be with what is. And that's what we're going to do today. The very first thing that I'm going to ask everyone to do, and if you're listening to this later on the podcast, go ahead and pause this until you can sit down and do it. But I want you to get a pen and paper. And if you're here live with me, I'm going to pause. I'm going to just be here with you in stillness for about 5 minutes. We're not going to have time to complete the whole thing. You're going to have to do that later today. Okay. I'm going to ask you to do it before the full moon hits. So Eastern, that's 11 p.m. Mountain Pacific, that's 9 p.m. Pacific, that's 8 p.m. I'm going to ask you to do that before the full moon hits. because during the full moon, we're actually going to call in and create. Okay. And you'll learn more about that later. Right now, I want you to take some deep breaths with me. The first thing I'm going to do, and this is going to be a 2-part practice, we're going to breathe. We're going to empty our minds of any preconceived notions or ideas about what's happening in our lives. Big, deep breaths. And if you focus on the words, breathe in as you breathe in. And I really want you to think the word breathe in and the words breathe out as you breathe out. So thinking the words breathe out. And remember, we have this 936 frequency in the background helping us clear this energy out. Breathe in, breathe out. And if your mind's still going other places, you can snap your finger, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, until there's nothing there. And what I want you to do is I want you to take your pen and paper, and from this state of neutrality, I want you to write down the things you're willing to leave behind in 2022. And I don't want you to just focus on the negative. I had a conversation with a client last week. She knew in her heart she needed to release a partnership. The thing is, this partnership wasn't necessarily bad. The person was loving. They met all their needs. They showed up in all the right ways, but her heart was saying, let them go. And I said, things don't have to be negative or cause us pain to no longer serve us. It's sometimes in our contentment and comfortability that we get stuck. And so it's in that I also want you to say, okay, have I been so stuck in journaling every single morning at 6 a.m. that I no longer feel passion from it? Journaling every morning at 6 a.m., society would tell you, who fucking raw, you're doing great. But it doesn't necessarily serve you if it's become a habit. I like to create rituals, sacred practices that I do. And when things become habits, they create stagnation. Now, you can write negative things on your list. You can write the people who aren't serving you, the behaviors that aren't serving you. Maybe you're giving up an addiction. Maybe you're giving up an emotional state that you've been in. Maybe you're giving up a person. But I also want you to reflect today on what's simply not serving you anymore. So here live, we'll go for another 4 minutes of writing down and reflecting. But again, I want you to take some time later tonight to add more to this list. So I'm going to be quiet and put on some more frequency music. You sit with yourself and write what you need to write. Okay, so obviously, you're not going to finish this whole list. It takes time and deep reflection. You can come back to it tonight. Those of you who are listening on the recording, finish your list, okay? And what you're going to do, and if you're not listening to this on the full moon, it's okay. What the full moon does is it just kind of gives us that tidal wave of release. It just helps. It's like the power washer rather than the shower, okay? If you're listening to this over the weekend, if you're listening to it before the new year, it's all the same. We're taking an inventory of all the behaviors, all the thought patterns, all the relationships, all of the habits that no longer serve us. And we're saying, I choose to let this go. Okay? And as you choose to let this go, what you're doing is you're creating space for all the things that you want to call in 2022. So after you do this, there's going to be this period of integration, right? When you plant the seed in the soil, it's sitting under there. It doesn't see the sunlight. All it knows is it's surrounded by darkness, and it has that knowing that no matter what, it's going to sprout. It will see light of the day eventually, but we don't know when. We don't know how close to the top it is. There's no way of knowing, right? We have full faith that the seed is going to sprout, and that's where you'll be after completing this ritual. So you're going to write this list, and then at the full moon, and it again doesn't have to be exact. This is just if you're honing in on this energy. You're going to take this at 11 p.m. Eastern tonight, and you'll burn it. And then because this moon is in Gemini, and because this cold moon circles out the end of the year, Full moons normally aren't for all of the creating and manifesting and things like that. But this one in particular, the astrological lineup, what it's going to allow us to do is create a wave of what we do want to call in. So, like I said at the beginning, we're sitting in that zone right now of knowing what we want, knowing something big is coming, and it's not necessarily going to happen overnight. But what we're going to do tonight, whenever you listen to this, is to lay the groundwork for that. And what I want you to do is hone in on the emotions, the feelings and experiences you want to have. So I think it's a really poor choice to write down on January 2nd, 2023, I want to meet the love of my life. But if that is what you want to do, what I would write down is in 2023, I'm calling in the partner that will serve my highest good. I want to feel safe with this partner. I want to feel held with this partner. I want to feel seen with this partner. I want this partnership to be for my benefit and for theirs, for us to live in harmony and pleasure and bliss, or all the things you want to feel. What I don't recommend is saying, in 2023, I want to make $1,217,000. What I want you to say is, in 2023, I want to welcome in all of the abundance meant for me. I want to feel safe when I look at my bank account. I want to spend freely without fear. I want to feel the beauty of traveling the world. I want to know what luxury linens feel like on my skin. Whatever those feelings and emotions you want to experience with that amount of money is what you're going to tune into, tap into, create. What I wouldn't recommend is saying, I want to have 17 new clients in the first month of 2023. What I would say is, I'm calling in all of the people I am meant to serve, people who will freely and willingly invest in my services, knowing it's for my highest good and theirs. I want ease and grace and pleasure in my life. I want to serve those I am meant to serve, and I don't want to have to reach for them. I want them to come to me like moths to a flame. And every new client I meet, I want my heart to open and explode with pleasure, love, and connection. Notice how instead of the ego controlling these certain outcomes, I'm letting the soul lead with vibrations, feelings, experiences. That's what the universe resonates with. And that's what we want to create. So we're being very honest with 2022. We're looking back at all the things. And what I like to do personally is I'll go through them, and maybe you don't keep track of your life the way I do, but I can go back to either notes or pictures in my phone. So I'll go back to January 2022 and I'll look at the pictures I took in January and February and March. I'll look at the notes that I wrote in my phone or in my journal throughout those dates. And I'll notice where I was at, what didn't feel good, or what did feel good but no longer feels good, right? Maybe I was taking a certain supplement every night and now I'm like, oh, I noticed when I did take this supplement, my face looked brighter in these pictures. And now it doesn't. So maybe I need to adjust. I noticed when I hung out with that friend, I always looked puffy and round. Or I noticed every time I wrote in my journal after hanging out with this friend, I expressed feelings of fatigue and tiredness. Okay, that's great observations for what I don't want in 2023. Right? And we just create this list, and however it works for you, maybe it's meditating about it, maybe it's going through the photos and notes in your phone, however you can take personal inventory of the experiences, the emotions, and the relationships, and fine tune this list of what you want to release, burn it, and then tune into what you do want to create and call in the emotions, the experience, the feeling behind it. Does that all make sense? Beautiful. So today we're going to end this call with an activation meditation. I'm going to guide you through tuning into your own solar energy, becoming the light and not what the light is reflected off of, but becoming your light source. So if you're in your darkest hour, you don't have to look for the light at the end of the tunnel. You look for the light within. You are the source. You are the center of creation. It's all within you right now. So get centered. Again, if you're listening somewhere in your car, driving, whatever you're doing, take a minute or pause this until you can be centered and in a secure environment. Put some headphones on so not only can you hear my voice clearly, but you can really benefit from all of the frequencies. And we're going to start by taking some big, deep breaths. You can close your eyes. You can leave them 1/8 of the way open. Whatever feels best for you. So big, deep breaths. In through your nose. Out through your mouth. In through your nose. Out through your mouth. In through your nose. Out through your mouth. Envisioning yourself walking down a beautiful meadow. You notice a river on your right side and beautiful trees on your left. You hear the sounds of this river. You see the beautiful salmon jumping up, diving back in, the splash of their fins on the water. And as you walk down this river, you feel called to step into it. Stepping into this river, you are suddenly transformed into the water itself. The thoughts that once filled your mind are washed away by the current and the stream. You feel yourself flowing down the beautiful Earth Mother, cool and crisp. Noticing a floating, surreal feeling overtaking you as you sink deeper and deeper in to the water. As you flow down the earth, one with the water, you begin to swirl in a clockwise direction, round and round. And as a vortex is created, your mind becomes crystal clear. Breathing into the stillness, into the oneness. There's no mind, no body, no ego, simply what is. And as you swirl through the nothingness, the earth opens for you. You begin to flow down into the soil, through the sediment, through the clay, seeping down, passing through roots and complex systems. And as you're deep into the center of the earth, you feel her open for you, widen for you, creating a safe space to explore the hidden desires of your body and mind. As you land softly in this opening, still, transparent and flowing like the water of the earth, you notice a formation in the soil and the roots beginning to form into what looks like a human face. The earth, in her stillness and in her awe, wants to share a powerful message. wants you to listen and open to the deep call from within, knowing you will be okay, knowing you are held. Spend some time here in her energy and in her stillness, starting now. Breathing deep into the safety that is available to you now and always, allowing your mind and body to stay in this frequency of stillness and inner peace. Allowing yourself to move back up through the soil, thanking the Earth Mother for her wisdom today as you soak up all the nurturance, the grace, the life force energy available to you now. Breathing deep into this moment as you move out of the earth back into the stream, allowing yourself to be cleansed and open to the purity of your own energy. As you move back into solid form, finding your footing on the riverbed, allowing the beautiful fish and water to flow through you, stepping out onto the riverbank where your feet hit the soil, coming back fully into the present moment and into the now, taking a deep breath as you open your eyes. This stillness, this state of an empty mind is how we want to live. When we are flooded by all the external, whether it's good or bad, whether it's praise and celebration or doubt and criticism, our mind is full of things outside of ourselves. The only way to really know what is serving us and what is for us is to go to this state of no mind, this state of emptiness, to unplug from the external and see what lies within. When we make this a daily practice, a frequent practice, in our most tumultuous times, if instead of reacting, we can go within in order to respond, we can make the greatest changes. We can break cycles and patterns that have plagued us and our families for generation after generation. But we get stuck in the habit. We get stuck in the emotion. We get stuck in the thoughts. And we end up wreaking havoc on ourselves, flagellating our minds, creating harm and sabotage and pain, all through our thoughts. As we enter into this season of renewal, ending this year, it's important to remember to disengage with all of the things that you used to. Even if it's just for a short time, take time away from social media, from reading the self-help books. Take time away from all of the opinions that you're constantly flooded by. Turn off the news, close the magazines, shut down the apps. Give yourself space and time to come back to you, your own unique code, your own unique energy, your own unique form. When you can do that, you can really, truly create from your truth, your alignment, your soul essence, and not somebody else's. Take a deep breath for me. I wish you nothing but ease and pleasure for the rest of this year. If you are currently in the dragon's lair, stay on and we'll have a little conversation about that. If you're not, you can always join our private community where you'll get access to this live before anyone else. You'll get to go into a Q&A afterwards, as well as monthly questions, practices, and meditation. So the link will be in the comments below. It's only $22 a month to join us. And I wish you well wherever you're at on your journey. As always, breathe deep and plan on miracles.